that's pretty much our mission for the next year.
Hey, wait a minute. You know, that was very important. Scott Anderson, you just walked away, dude. What's up with that? You get back here. Y'all thought I was kidding about walking away. Scott Anderson, get your ass back up here, man. Nobody is walking away from this panel today. These guys are too important. The message is too important, right? This is your right to vape, people. That's right. Nobody.
Yeah!
All right, let's go ahead. Continue
Got a
on.
pretty good advocacy showing.
Joe, go ahead, man. You got it.
Hey everybody, it's Joe Gordon. So the thing I want to talk to you guys about today is many people are focused on the efforts that are going at the federal level. This is a very important and very credible thing that we have to get behind. We also need to keep in mind that there are 50 other fronts that they are ready to take us to the mat on. We've watched some pretty amazing things happen in the past few weeks. Let's talk about things that happened in the days right after the release of the regs. 3 states stepped forward with new laws that would affect the vapers in those states. Just recently,
say hi.
Weeks ago,
Oh, hi. How's it going?
40% wholesale.
Trish from the vape shop of Pensacola.
I know that sounds kind of bad, but let me make sure you really understand the devastation that it's going to reap. That every shop owner there has to account
we got
for
Bond
every
Vape
product
too.
in their shop.
What?
It costs about 40% to stay in business. They want to shut us down. They're going to try it in every means they can. Every vapor, you've got to be supporting those shops that are involved in the cause.
Yeah!
You've got to be behind the state efforts and the state groups. You've got to be a member. If you're sitting on the sidelines, you're part of the problem right now.
Yeah!
And we need to stop this apathy. It's time for everybody to step up and be part of the solution. Because the bottom line is, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. That's right.
That's right.
Sorry about that. I was having to get on the hill for walking away. So don't walk away. I'm telling you, I will call your ass out right here. All right, look. Let's go ahead and go down the line here. Cynthia Cabrera, my favorite last name.
Yeah!
Y'all give it up for Cynthia, right?
Hey everybody, I think it's awesome that you came out. I think it's awesome that you're standing here despite the threats from Rod over here. So I've been fighting for the vapor industry since 2011, and it has not gotten any easier. In fact, every year it gets harder and harder. And there are things that you can do, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a business owner, an e-liquid manufacturer, whatever, depending where you are in the industry, determines what it is that you can do. But at the federal level, we have a lot of issues. Joe's point about the states bringing out regulations and laws and new things that are going to be difficult for us to deal with is all true. The legislative session in 2017, everybody needs to be paying attention. I want to tell you 2 things. 1, be ready. Be ready when your local vape store says, hey, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. And 2, make sure that you go out and vote. Because the government that you get is the government that you deserve.
Yep!
The vapor industry is awesome. This is a fantastic industry. I love it. My father died of throat cancer. Ugly way to die. He suffered for a very long time. It was painful. I got to the hospital and he had just passed. I didn't get to say goodbye. He smoked from the time he was 12 years old. If I'd been able to give him a vapor product, I would have. However, that's not why I love this industry. I do this because I support every person's right to do something that's better for them than what they're currently doing. And I think the government trying to take it away from you is absolutely wrong. It's devastating. So I'm gonna keep fighting, and I hope that you guys will keep fighting too.
Yeah!
Yeah, give it up for Cynthia Cabrera. Yeah, I love it, right? She is fighting, and she is really on the front lines. I'll tell you someone else who is on the front lines here locally. It's a guy I work for and a guy I love, man. Zach Carpenter right here. Y'all give it up for Cyclops Vapor, right? The Cyclops himself, Zach. Go ahead, man. Tell them what we're doing here locally in the state of Alabama, man.
All right, guys. I'm not only a local business owner, but I'm also part of the Breathe Easy Alliance of Alabama, because this stuff starts from the state level. We've got national fights and we've got state fights. One point that I want to get across is if you're not from the state of Alabama, find your state organization and get involved with it. You know, even if it's a donation. The lawsuit that we started in this state is not a cheap lawsuit. You know, us as business owners, we keep donating and we keep putting this out there, but we need help from everybody. It's going to take work from everybody to keep this going. I want to start out by saying thank you to Danny and Matt for putting this show together to start with, because we wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't.
Yeah!
Next, I want to thank everybody on this panel. This is my hometown. I grew up here. This is where we're at. I literally traveled 30 minutes to get here, but these guys travel from all over the country just to come talk to you guys.
Woo!
But this is just not where it's at. These guys are fighting behind the scenes constantly. I'm on the phone with
Vaping
them
militia.
constantly, working on this because we've got an industry that's worth saving. You know, I was a 2-pack a day smoker for over 20 years. I started when I was very young, tried everything under the book, and I think most of y'all have that same story. Well, I want to keep it here. Not just for us, but for the next generation so they don't have to go through the same crap that we went through trying to stop.
Yeah!
We're looking at a better alternative in it, and this is where it starts at. You know, I'm not a public guy. I never have been. I have people ask me all the time, how do you get up there and speak? Because this means something to me. This is not just a business. Like,
That's
this
right.
is my life, and this is all of your lives as well, and that's what we fight for every single day.
Preach it, Zach.
So you
Preach
may
it.
not see everything that we do, but I guarantee you that's what I do with 90% of my time now is fighting to keep this here.
That's right, baby. Yeah!
Hey, and I can attest, he's telling you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. There's lots of things Cyclops, Gary, and Zach do for you guys that you have no idea about. They spend lots of money fighting for your right to think.
Cyclops!
So let's give it up for all these guys, right? Come on, guys. That's a noise for them. They are fighting for your right to think. And you know what? Even more importantly, they're fighting for the right of people to vape that don't even know they're going to vape yet. The people that are out there smoking cigarettes right now, they don't even know they are fighting for their right to vape and save their life. So that's a great thing. All right, let's get some questions out here. Danny's out here with a microphone. Anybody have any questions to ask the panel we have here today? Come on, who will be the first? It's always, always remember your first. Come on, who's going to be the first? Come on. Right here, Vaping Jeannie, in the house in Pensacola. Go ahead, Jeannie.
All right, so there's been rumors about Facebook pages. Can we still promote our stuff from our stores
No, you cannot.
on Facebook after the 8th? I've had that question before.
Not after the first.
The way you promote your products on Facebook has to change. So, gosh, I don't know how much detail you want to get into on this, but the marketing, there's no restrictions on marketing right now, but there are restrictions on claims that you make about the products, right? So I know a lot of people on Facebook. So who all here knows what a health claim is? Okay, there's a booth in the back over there that says, ask us how we can help you quit, or something like that, which is a great idea, except that it's a health claim. It's a cessation claim. So when I say that the way you put stuff on Facebook is gonna have to change, that's what I mean. So the marketing, they haven't actually done anything about the marketing yet, other than that modified risk claims, which is what cessation or smoking, quitting smoking would be, has to change, right? Also,
I can't sponsor the racetrack anymore.
if you've got labels that are on the website and they're on Facebook, and you've got samples of your labels and they're not accurate, I would update those and stuff like that. Marketing restrictions are coming. There's an organization called the Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids. The Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids is your worst enemy.
Or Indiana.
Our worst enemy. Because they believe that the vapor industry is a knockoff of big tobacco. They think that everybody here is a shill or a front for the big tobacco companies. So one of the things that they made a big thing about, and I was there in person, so I heard it, was that there weren't enough marketing restrictions. So they're coming, but for the meantime, be a good actor, be a good responsible business, and just fix anything the way that you think they're going to want to see it.
There you go. Any more questions? Come on, y'all work some questions up real quick. Let's go to Robin from Vaping Militia. Robin, you got something to tell us about, right? One of my favorite people in vape right here. Go ahead, Robin.
Robin!
Give it up for Robin from Vaping Militia, everybody.
Hi guys, happy to be here. Love you guys. We had a great time last year. I'm happy to be back. And I feel like I need you guys to know how much passion I have for the industry and for all of you. I'm not just a Vaping Militia member. I'm a registered nurse. That's my real job. And the amount of passion that comes from that is just incredible. I've watched too many people die that should not have, that maybe wouldn't have had this industry been here before, but there's a lot of fighting. And the fact that 500,000 people die every year because of it, that there's 40 million smokers out there, it just beats the hell out of me. So now there's a movie, it's called A Billion Lives. I'll bet you guys have heard of it.
Yeah!
Very, very excited about it. How many of you want to see it?
Yeah.
I hope you get to. Here's the thing though, and I understand why you want to see it. There's a lot of hype, it's very exciting. You know we're being lied to. Everybody in this room knows we're being lied to. That's a lot of the concept of the film. I want the smokers to see it because their doctors are lying to them too. The whole healthcare industry is lying to them too. They need to see it. Your politicians need to see it. Talk to the people that you know that still smoke. Get them out there to see it when it's available to be seen. That's who needs to see it. The other really important message there, and I was talking about it at breakfast this morning, is if they're lying to us about that, what else are they lying about? What else don't we know goes on behind the scenes?
All of
For the
it.
politicians that we pay for, that we elect, that we put into office, what else are they lying about? A lot to think about there. And I want you guys to take it seriously, think about it, and again, push people who smoke to go see it, people who don't smoke or don't vape to go see it, your family members, get them talking about it. We share it all over Facebook all the time. Keep sharing it out there. People need to know. So,
Y'all give it up for Robin, right? Billion lives. Make sure you spread that word, okay? Questions? Where's Danny at? Where you at?
Hang on, Rod, before you go, I want to go back to that question for a moment about
Go ahead.
marketing. There was something that was done about 6 weeks ago. There was a study that had some flaws to it, but we need to look at the nature of the study that was done. There were 270 websites that were looked at, and a claim was made that on those 270 websites that 185 of them had a valid health claim on them. That is in our marketing already. So this had no power, no teeth to it. But the thing is, we know now they're looking at us. They're looking hard at us. So at this point, we should take that as the warning to start looking at these things ourselves and making these changes before the real storm comes. So that's just something I want people to think about when it comes to marketing.
Hey Rod.
Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm right here.
That's the first time in my life I've ever not seen Danny.
I was actually looking at the crowd, and you have a bunch of people.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, we got a lot of chatter going on back there. This is like church, y'all. Y'all better get up here now, all right? Seriously, this is very important. You got a question, Danny? You got somebody with a question up there?
The gentleman mentioned something about studies, and that's going to be the heart of my question. There are a lot of studies that I've seen. If you've been on Facebook more than 5 minutes, you've seen them too, about popcorn lung, about this, about that, about how it's horrible. And I'm guessing that a lot of it is done because the juice that they're using is crap. Is there anyone actively doing counter studies for those studies?
Who would like to answer that?
So I'll take the first round on that, and I know Cynthia's going to add to it. So the first round on that is many times when a study comes out, the validity of that study needs to be questioned. Now, notice I said needs to be questioned. The wrong person to question that study is someone who has absolutely no medical knowledge or anything like that. Your opinion of that study is very quaint and very cute and sometimes rather interesting. However, we need people to look at these studies when they come out as their peers and make comments to them. So encouraging people in the industry to make valid scientific claims against these particular studies is a good thing. What's not good is if you see a study that is a piece of shit, quit sharing it. Plain and simple. The more misinformation we put out there, the more we shoot ourselves right in the foot. It's time to start being responsible with the data you put in other people's hands. Think of it this way. Everything you share, your enemy is looking at.
There you go. Give it up for Joey. Right? All right, who else? Cynthia?
Okay, so who's the guy that asked the question about popcorn lung? Okay, here's the deal. It's very difficult to make a study about how there isn't popcorn lung because the history behind popcorn lung is actually kind of complicated and complex. So and I've spoken to the lawyer who actually defended the flavor industry when all this happened. As a matter of fact, I had him do a seminar one time in Vegas. So here's what happened. There were these workers, they were inhaling this, some of them weren't feeling well or whatever. It's a very long story, but at the end of the day, here are the takeaways. They were never able to prove that the popcorn, the butter flavoring is what caused popcorn lung. And the what is it? Obliterans, what? It's something, what? Bronchiolitis obliterans, BO. So because they couldn't prove it, the plaintiffs actually changed the name, and it's BO, bronchiolitis obliterans syndrome. So any symptom that was associated with those workers was then attributed to the popcorn lung, which is bronchiolitis obliterans syndrome. So I'm taking a long way of telling you that it's impossible to do a study to prove that something doesn't exist because they haven't been able to prove that it existed in the first place. The reason the flavor companies didn't do well is because they waited until the last minute to defend themselves. They didn't do anything about it. So that's the answer. You can't make a study to combat something that hasn't been able to be confirmed yet.
I have something to say too. The other issue, guys, with studies, and remember I come from that industry, is that people get a lot of money to do them. A lot of money to do them. They get funding to perform the study. They get paid to do the study, income for themselves as well. Very, very often they're skewed because if I'm doing a study and I happen to be a team of scientists and I'm doing a study and I'm working for, SmithKline, don't you think I'm going to lean in their direction? Otherwise, do you think SmithKline going to accept the results of my study? So they're very, very skewed. They're very biased. And unfortunately, a lot of the studies that we read, whether it be about this or other things, are not necessarily completely valid. There are valid points in there, but not necessarily 100% true. Example, Chantix, right? Went through lots of studies. Do we not still have it? Look at what it does. But it went through studies and it made it. The guys who went through and did all the testing on determined it to be safe at the time. We know it's not, but it's still there. So, that's a perfect example of that.
All right, I think Danny has a question out here. Danny?
I got a question out here.
Okay.
Actually, it's to do with the studies you were mentioning, and one of the things that I feel like maybe the vapor industry can do, the tobacco industry sure as hell got away with it, so did the corn syrup industry, oddly enough, where they basically were like, give us 50 years. Yeah, we know that corn syrup gives people colon cancer, but it's still placed on the market. There is zero regulation for it, and still it's being sold to people by the millions. Same thing with tobacco, that as soon as they realized it gave people cancer, they said, give us 50 years to really study it. I feel like that's an argument that the vape company should be allowed to use.
Who wants to answer?
That's a weird one. That's a tough one.
Well, now vapor products are classified as tobacco products, so they're not going to give 50 years, right? The problem is that public health, there is a whole contingent of people that are protecting the public health, and they have decided that vapor is part of big tobacco, that it's another way of hooking another generation of young people to get them hooked on nicotine. It used to be that tobacco, combusted tobacco, was the bad guy. And then suddenly the language changed and it became nicotine that's the bad guy, right? We're not gonna get 50 years. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna give us 50 years. The science is in. For anybody who thinks there's not enough science out there, there's plenty of science out there. There's plenty of information out there. The problem is that we have more challengers and enemies than we can deal with right now. It's not just one organization that we're having to fight. It's a well-oiled machine that has tons more money than we do. They have materials, they have strategies, they have ideas, they have long-term plans, and they have people who are committed to keeping them funded to keep fighting us until the bitter end. So we don't have time for studies. They're not going to give them to us. We don't need them. What we need to be is more organized and more strategic on our own. David and Goliath, people.
There you go.
I
Give it up for Cynthia. Thank you.
guess I'll dovetail right off of that. And I want to make sure you understand, when we say organize, what we're talking about is that public health employs a number of people in every state, hundreds, thousands of people in every state to do that. And just going to make a very bold statement here. How many do we actually employ to protect us? Think about it. I'm just going to lay it out there. You need to take that to heart.
Good job, good job. Stefan, anything to add?
Joe, by my last count, Advocacy only has 3 employed people working for them.
You're right, Stefan. I know the answer.
And these guys are working hard, man. They're working hard. Any other questions? Come on, this is your chance to ask important questions that you want to answer to.
I got a question over here.
You got one? All right, Danny, go ahead.
However, I just want to make a statement real quick. I know a lot of people are wandering around. They want to go to the vendors and see them. Those vendors are going to be here after this panel. Everybody really needs to come up here and listen to this stuff because it's really important. It affects all of us. And if you think it's more important to buy a bottle of juice or a mod at this moment, it's not. It's important to be here and listen to this.
Yeah. Come on, guys, get up here. You need more free stuff? Is that what it's going to take to get you up here? Come on, look. Is that what it's going to take? I need you up here. It's that important. Come on, guys. If you got a question, we need to hear it right now.
Before he goes to the question, by the way, August 8th, not for nothing, there's not going to be any more free shit
That's right.
for anybody.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Okay? This is it.
So you better get your asses up here and start
That's
listening
it.
to this stuff and
That's what it's going to take. More free shit. You need free shit to listen to an important message. Come get your free shit and listen to the important message. Because this is the last chance you'll get to get it if you don't get up here and get active.
Rod, I have a question for the audience.
Okay.
Who in the audience can tell me why after August 8th there will be no more free shit? Not you.
I got an answer out here. Come on, raise your hands. Tell me why.
Wait, just one hand knows why after August 8th?
Let's see the hands again. You got one hand out here, and you guys are wandering around this place, and you don't know the answers. Really? That's pretty scary.
Go ahead. Come in. Tell us the answer.
Your taxes are going to go higher.
No, that's not why that's not it.
Come on. Anyone else? You're right, but they will.
Being classic.
You know the answer? Come on, what's the answer?
The FDA says in the deeming regulations strictly said we cannot do any more giveaways of free sample products.
There you go.
Hey!
There you go. That's why this is important, y'all. That's one. That's
I
sad.
actually had one right here that was going to tell me to, but you beat me to it.
Yeah, Danny, that's always the story with you, man. You always short. You're just too late to the party, aren't you?
All right, well, I got another question up here.
I'm sorry, I had to ask back about the question on Facebook. When it comes out, the regulation that makes vapor tobacco, Facebook says that it's prohibited content to show any tobacco or tobacco-related paraphernalia. And how is that going to affect shops? And we use Facebook and a lot of social medias for get-togethers and things of that nature.
Not anymore.
How is it really going to affect it?
He wants to know, he's got it pulled up here on his phone, that Facebook says that they're not allowed to do tobacco, paraphernalia, or products. He wants to know how we're going to handle that at this point.
Facebook is a private company. They get to employ whatever policies they want. Building an entire industry that depends on another private company for marketing purposes you know, it has its inherent risks. It's a good idea because everybody uses Facebook, but Facebook can make whatever policies and decisions they want. So then you get into the territory of it's a business decision, right? As a business, you have to employ marketing practices and marketing tactics that promote your business independent and free of potentially Facebook, which might shut down your site.
They will pull your
Right,
photo.
and to
like
add
a
to
nude
that,
photo.
there's been rumors going around that Facebook's been shutting down vapor groups. That's not actually what happened. Facebook's not going to shut down groups of vapors talking about vaping and showing hand checks and doing what happens in these groups. These groups get shut down because people are advertising in it. And that's the part that Facebook doesn't like. So we'll still have Facebook groups, we'll still have the community, but we won't have the advertising.
They shut down CCI.
So while we're on advertising,
Over what advertisement?
That's what they said. CCI. They shut down CCI.
Right, because you were promoting a company, you were promoting a product.
But not everybody in the group was. They shut down a group with 23,000 members because we were posting hand checks and posting videos of us blowing clouds and stuff.
I remember that. And how long did it take to reestablish the group?
20 minutes, because we're not going to let it die that easy.
Right, exactly. And how many members are in the group right now?
What? How many? 5,000 now?
5,000. So yeah, if your group gets hit with something like this, it takes a while to rebuild it again.
Have some more questions, anyone?
I got two right over here.
Got one? All right. Got some people back here too, working their way around.
During the political debates, I didn't hear anyone ask the politicians about vaping, so I'm wondering how do we find out which politicians will protect our rights to vape?
None of them.
Tough question.
Not a single one of
we
them.
noticed a few eye rolls as we answer this question, so.
Just saying.
I'm earning my keep here today. So here's the thing. Vaping is a really big deal to us. There's an estimated 9 million vapors in the country, right? There's still 40-something million smokers. But the fact of the matter is that most politicians don't care about vaping. So when you look at the election, right, the odds that somebody was going to get up and say, hey, Trump, what do you think about vaping? They were pretty small to begin with. So when you decide who you're going to vote for, and I would never tell anybody how to vote, you have to think, what candidate is going to protect my ability to run my business, or at least not get in the way so much of running my business and not hinder my access to products. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
I will tell you, listen, let me tell you something. I don't know about Trump. You know why? Because these guys know I have been glued to the RNC coverage because this is my job, so I need to like stay in touch. And I heard Trump say something about the LGBTQ community and how he would protect them. He would make sure that they were protected from foreign threats. He didn't say one goddamn thing about domestic threats. So, I don't know how far he's gonna go. All I want is somebody who won't get in the way. That's it.
Yeah, give it up. Great answer. Got a question?
I got one right back
All right, hold on.
Hey guys, let me tell you something for a second. We've got 9 million vapors. Sounds like a lot. But when you put it in context, it's 3% of the population. We're 3% of the population. So a lot of what we got to do is convince non-vapors that what we do is productive and to look hard at those numbers. We've got 97% non-vapors and 3% vapors. Take the time to be polite with your vape, you know, to treat it so that the people that don't know what it's all about, that we're not intruding on their position, and just be polite about it. But the numbers are real. We're 3% of the population. So let's get some of the non-vaping people involved in what we're doing and show them what we're doing is the right thing to do, but look at the numbers hard.
That's right. Hey, you know what? And I want to give it up to you guys out here because today, I was talking to one of the security guards here today. He didn't know anything about vaping. He's here working this weekend, but you know what? He took the time to talk to some of you guys. I don't know which one of you it was, but he took the time to talk to you guys, and y'all educated him on vaping. He understands it now. He sees it, sees how great we all get along, we have a good time. So applause to you guys for putting a good face on vaping because you are the front line of vaping. These guys are the advocates. You are the front line. You're the ones coming in contact with people every day that do not vape. It's your opportunity to educate them and let them see a good representation of what the vape community is and the vape family. All right? All right. Any other questions?
Hang on, Ryan. I got to throw something else in here.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is one of those statements that I make when people look at me with this funny look on their face and they go, "Did he say that?" Yeah, this is one of them. How many people in this room think that the people that are sitting at this table right now can save vaping? Honestly. Raise your hand if you think we can save it.
You're wrong.
Put your hands down because we can't do anything just at this table. It takes what we tell you, what you go do to make a difference.
Yeah!
If you want to know who's going to vote, write a letter. Write an email, send a message, and ask them. That's how you're going to know. When you find out, tell me and I'll tell everybody else. But I cannot do it myself. There is nobody in their right mind is going to listen to a 52-year-old retired network architect on a major health problem. You know what? They're just going to think I'm a long-haired fucking idiot. But if I put a room full of people looking at a candidate saying, we want an answer, he sees an election that can be lost. Let's step up to the plate. Let's stop letting somebody else do the damn work. I want you to get involved, and I want you to do it now.
Yeah!
Yeah. All right, question, Danny. You got someone?
Hi, my question's about tasting bars in the vapor stores. I know that we have to now charge people to test, but can we do a membership? Is there for every tester that they test, we have to charge them for, or is there a set rate? Or can we do a monthly membership where they pay and they can just test as much as they want?
What about testing in zero?
All right. Who's going to take it?
That's why I said it. That's why I said it.
Go ahead, Cynthia.
I am still earning my keep. Okay. Yes. And just so we're clear, the regulations, they're issued. It doesn't mean there won't be additional regulations, because there will be. But for the time being, you should be fine with some kind of membership thing to, an additional above and beyond. Don't charge a membership fee and then take it off the price of the invoice or the bill. Charge a membership fee that's above and beyond. And by the way, the fact that consumers have to pay now to be able to try flavors or sample flavors, it is what it is because that's what the regulations are. Everybody here who didn't know that after August 8th, this all comes to an end, I want to know, show of hands, how many of you all are going to come to the vapor stores